Welcome back. Today I'm going to be putting on my rack and pinion on the Red Demon. Went ahead and pressure washed it yesterday, sprayed it down with some purple power, all that good stuff, got it clean, and threw a little coat of black paint on it. I'm going to be reusing the one that I took off the car. May have to end up replacing these boots. I'm not exactly sure yet. We'll have to just wait and see and get everything hooked up. But of course I'm going to replace the tie rod ends. That way I have no issue with bump steer with these new edge spindles that we put on the car. Now I did eliminate my rag joint and I put the universal joint that is 3/4 by, let me look and see here real quick. I don't want to tell you guys wrong information. It's a 3/4 by 36 spline on one side and a 3/4 round on the other side. All I did was just cut my rag joint off. There's a couple of videos on YouTube how to do this, but I did mine a little bit different than they did. Instead of actually splitting the rag joint in two and then taking it off the actual shaft, I just cut it flush on the back side of the rag joint. And there's still plenty of rod to go inside, because you don't want it sticking out too far, because if you got it sticking out too far, then your universal joint won't work at a hit. But I went ahead and welded it in and put a bolt all the way through it with a little extra measure, painted it up, and took all these little old Allen bolts out and put blue Loctite on them. Now as you can see right there, it's got a set screw that goes in there. Now I did take my set screw and put a little bit more chamfer on it. Made the chamfer a little bit heavier. That way when I get ready to slide that on, the set screw will actually sit inside that groove there a little bit better. And we will also be putting some blue Loctite on that. But right now we're just waiting on the bolts to dry, because you can't reuse your factory K-member bolts. Well, rack and pinion bolt. This bolt slid through the rack and pinion all the way through the K-member. Excuse me. I'm running the QA1, and the reason why I'm running the QA1 is because I can run my factory front control arms. Now this QA1 here, it's got threads right inside here, so they recommend running a 1/2 inch 20 bolt about 1 inch long. So I just found 2 bolts I had laying around. Actually the 2 bolts come off of the Cobra caliper bracket off of one of them, because it didn't have 2. I just reused my SN9 or my new edge bolts on the Cobra calipers. So I just basically took those 2 bolts. I cut maybe about a 1/4 inch off of them to where they'd be, you know, pretty close to 1 inch, and got them out here painted and drying. And we're fixing to slap this rack and pinion all up in the Red Demon here. So I'll be back with you guys in a second. I'm going to get everything set up so we can pop it on real quick. And another one checked off the list. Alright, now let me grab my rack, set it up here. I'm going to go ahead and slide it on the K-member. The bushings on. I sprayed a little WD-40 on there to kind of help out a little bit. And let me grab my universal joint here so I can get the splines lined up. There we go. Alright, there we go. Rack and pinion's in. Now once we cinch it up tight, it'll slide up a little bit further on the steering shaft there, and then we'll unlock the steering wheel, turn this a little bit so we can put our set screw in. Let's get these bolts installed. I've already got blue Loctite on there. Make sure you use blue and not red, because if you ever want to get it off, you make sure you don't use no red Loctite. So we got our bolts in there. Put our other bolt in there. Grab our air wrench. we go. Now we'll move back up to the top and get the set screw installed on the universal joint on the steering shaft. Okay, let's get this set screw installed. I've already got my blue Loctite on there. Ready to get it started. Tighten down on there. And that's the reason why I put a little bit more of a chamfer on it. Put the jam nut down. Lock it in place. And there we go. Now we got our set screw in, and we should be good there. So now we're going to take and put our tie rod ends in. I'm just going to put these in, take the castle nut, screw on them. I ain't going to put no pin in them because, like I said, I am going to change these. Being as I'm running the new edge spindles, I don't have to worry about no bump steer. So we're just going to throw these in here for right now. Just to kind of get them up and out of the way. Grab a castle nut. Slide that bad boy on there. Grab our air wrench up tight and move on to the other side. Let's get this tie rod in here installed. Of course, I got to get the front end lined up once I get all the steering components in, but right now everything's just kind of eyeballed. Get the castle nut down on it. Take the air wrench. Cinch it down on there. And there we go. Alright, rack and pinions in the Red Demon. Another check on the list. As far as I know right now, the steering wheel is straight. We'll know more once we get it to the alignment shop. When everything's set and done on the car, we'll get the front end lined up. But we'll take a look at it real quick. As you can see, our universal joint's in. We got our set screw with some blue Loctite on it, cinched down good and tight. And the jam nuts tightened down on it. And our 1/2 inch 20 bolts are in. Like I said, now I did reuse the factory washers. I just opened that hole up a little bit with a step bit. And that's all I got for you today, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. And I will catch you in the next video.